Welcome to the broadcast. My name is John Mayfield, the real estate tech guy, and thank you so much for joining. This is somewhat of a test video. We're going live though. We're just going to see how it's working out. So hopefully everything will work fine. I use a MacBook and I use a program called Ecamm that I absolutely love. Unfortunately, Ecamm is not working. I actually should back up and say that my Dell Interactive Smartboard that I'll introduce you to here in a moment has not been working with my Apple MacBook since the new update to Monterey. So anyway, I am using a Dell computer with the Dell Interactive Smartboard. Everything's working seamlessly, except I can't find a very good streaming platform. Ecamm only works for Apple products. So we're using OBS, which I like, but it's a little bit more challenging. And so I hope I have everything set up correctly. And my microphone that I normally hook up is not working with this. So I have a different microphone hooked up, and I think it sounds okay. You can let me know what you think. But I want to do a very quick exam question for you. And so I'm going to go over to the display so you can see it. And it talks about a sale leaseback. In a sale leaseback, the grantor becomes and the answers are, and I should have had this little guy set up a little bit better, but hey, it's live, so hopefully it will follow me now and knows where I'm at. But in a sale leaseback, the grantor becomes either the lessor, would it be the lessee, the new owner, or the landlord? So what do you think? How about that? You have to know the definitions. The definitions are so important. And these types of questions can get a little bit challenging and confusing. Well, let's think this through. So I'm going to just get my pen here, and we'll make sure that I'm going to get a little bigger pen font size. But in a sale leaseback, in other words, let's walk this through. We have a seller, right? And the seller is going to sell the property to a buyer. Now, the question, though, gives us a little bit more information here. It's a sale and it's a leaseback, okay? So, in other words, the seller is going to sell it to a buyer, and then they're going to lease it back. So if the seller leases it back, the seller would now become the lessee, correct? So there is one of the choices, but let's kind of work through this and make sure we understand it correctly. So in a sale leaseback, the grantor, and that's the other thing I meant to stress to you here, who is the grantor? And the grantor is the seller. That's how I like to remember that, the seller. So in a sale leaseback, the seller is the grantor, so the seller would become the lessee, because originally the seller would be the lessor. That's true. The seller would be the new owner. That's not true, right? And the seller is also the landlord. All these are actually false. I'm kind of getting confused here because I ask a question, but that's true. You know, before all of this happens, the seller is the lessor, and let me go back to this. Let me reword this. I'll come back here and talk to you for a second because I'm confusing myself. As we look at the question, I was moving ahead of myself, but I want to go back and reword this correctly for you. So, is in a sale leaseback, is the seller, the grantor, the lessor after it's completed? No. No, that would not be correct. Would the seller be a lessee? True, that is correct. Would the seller be the new owner? No, they sold the property. Remember, they sold it, so they wouldn't be the new owner, so we can mark that off. And would the seller be the landlord? No, because they no longer own it, so they would not be the landlord. So they wouldn't be the lessor, they wouldn't be the landlord, they would not be the new owner. They would be the lessee. So the correct answer is B. Hey, those can be a little challenging sometimes, and my apologies. Normally, I had this down, and I'm kind of going through all these new buttons and everything for my streaming, but hopefully you understand this situation that in a sale-leaseback, the grantor, and the grantor would be the same as the seller, right? So the grantor becomes the lessee, the lessee. Well, know those definitions. Sorry about that. I kind of messed that up, but hopefully you picked up on it and got it correct. But just remember, the grantor is the same thing as the seller, or as I like to refer to, seller, okay? And the grantee is buying. That's how I remember that. So in this situation, the grantor becomes well, they would not be the lessor. That's the owner of the property. They would not be the new owner. They would not be the landlord. They would be the lessee. Whew. A lot of stuff, isn't it? All right. Well, hopefully all of this went out very good, and hopefully you'll still subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? If you haven't done so, click on the bell. I'm not always this goofy when I'm explaining things, but hey, we learn that way, so I'm going to leave the video up, and you can give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, but I bet you if you see that question on the exam, you're going to get it right now, won't you? So that's all that matters, right? We had an 89% pass rate. I showed those the other day, but first-time attendees, we had a lot of people take the test, so we had a great pass rate, and I was excited about that. In Missouri, we can help you with your real estate needs in any state because we have a great program called My Real Estate Exam Coach. It's short videos, it is short, it's exam questions, really short, concise coaching tips. That's what I wanted to give you to help you pass the test, and you can use it in any state, all 50 states, because it's national content only. So check that out. It's at Global Real Estate School. If you want to get your real estate license, we'd love to have you as a student. We have a new coaching program to help you make money as a real estate professional, and so much more. Well, as always, thanks for watching the video. And now you know that the grantor becomes the lessee in a sale-leaseback. Hey, as always, thanks for watching. I hope this sounds okay, and hope everything looked all right so I don't have to delete the video. But have a great day and a great weekend. I'll talk to you soon.